What's up, YouTube? Today we're spending time with Dan Desveux, a good friend of mine. I consider him one of the most interesting people here in real estate investing. He hasn't been slowed down one iota during COVID. We're going to be walking through his building here. He's going to be building 4 brand new apartments in. Watch right to the very end to see all the details.
When I bought this building, if you can believe this building here was a repo, and it was dollars. Hard to believe dollars for a big building like this.
Let's do a little walkthrough here, and you can. So this used to be a dance studio up here. I guess,
used to be a dance studio. When I bought this building, this was, if you can believe this building here was a repo, and it was $200,000. Hard to believe $200,000 for a big building like this.
Yeah, this is also back in what, 20?
Yeah, it was
13, 14.
Yeah, I'd say about 8 years ago, something like that. And it actually sat for a while, and I actually had to crunch the numbers myself because, again, that's when rents were really low, and it's like, does this really make sense? And the building was mostly empty, and it was a big renovation at the time. But upstairs here, the whole space had been completely renovated, and they just spent, the previous owners had spent $200,000 on the renovation.
Holy cow.
Completely redoing everything.
Yeah, you see like a lot of new, coated wiring and everything up here. Like, this stuff is not cheap, so.
Yeah, they just completely redid. Actually, that's one of the things that they redid. They redid the entire electrical. They put new furnaces on the roof. They spent a ton of money and then ran out of money. And then they actually owned the building. It was it was a service club, men's service club. Memberships were getting low, and they just didn't have enough money come in, and they said, we're going to pull the plug on this or what? And that's what ended up happening. They pulled the plug. Wow. And then it went into receivership, and it actually sat for a little while, sat for a few months.
Well, people are looking at this, they're like, this is a big project, right? So, you're going to have carrying costs, you're going to have renovation costs, and now you've had it for a few years, you've been able to make a little bit of money, and the person that was up here, didn't make sense for her to continue renting anymore, and for you it's probably more economical, or it makes a lot more sense to put in these apartments, right?
Absolutely. We're gonna be talking rents before $1,500, rents now $8,000. Like, it's just a no-brainer.
Wow, that's huge. And how many? So there'll be 4 up here, plus there's a variety store down here, and there's a brewery up back, right?
Yeah, four units.
Yeah. All right, so you've had challenges with windows. I know you were showing me from the outside. You guys are gonna have to literally, there's been windows that have been brick closed. You guys are gonna be having to open those back up. Can we see any of those right now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna show you right here. All right, this is exactly what it looks like, boys. I mean, it'd be great to leave the brick, but obviously windows are better than a bricked up wall. So
they literally left the old window framing. This is crazy.
Yeah, this was actually all glass still. They just drywalled right over it on this side with plaster, and then on the other side they just bricked right over it and left the windows in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What other crazy stuff have you found here when you guys are ripping this all apart?
Actually, this is this is the second time it's been renovated, so there wasn't anything too crazy. Normally, I find all kinds of keepsakes. One time I found a violin in a wall. That was a fun. Wow. That was a fun keepsake. But crazy. What I just think is amazing in a building perspective is we have. So this is a 5,000 square foot space. There's no structural walls. So we just have literally 50-foot steel beams going all the way across the whole building. And if you look up there, I don't know, it's pretty hard to see with your camera, but there's 16-inch steel beams that that just go the whole length of the building.
Craned in back in the day.
Yeah, whole length of the building.
So that's good for you, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about structural.
That's
you can do open concept. And let's go ahead into one of these other rooms here. But people can see it. Just Dan's going to do a really big open concept here, high ceilings. A little bit better light in here. We can actually see how high these ceilings. Like, how high is it to actually get up to the roof line here? It's got to be.
So it's 12 feet to the ceiling, and then we have another 4 feet on top of that.
It's like just stuff for mechanicals and whatever. So yeah, so they had a drop tile ceiling here. Dan's ripping that all out. He's going to be going right up to 12 feet, give it that really lofty kind of a feel. And every unit's going to have their own AC, furnace. So really all you're paying is
washer, dryer, everything. It's going to be beautiful little loft apartments.
Yeah, so Dan only has to pay taxes and water, and that's basically it, collect the rents. It's going to be a lot of work though, so how about we jump into some of the numbers here.
Sure, I'm gonna grab my little book here. So,
all right, I wouldn't be doing my channel justice if I didn't ask you to smash the subscribe button and make sure you're liking this video here as well. Drop a comment below. We want to jump into the numbers right now, so let's get to it.
okay, so what do you want to know about the numbers?
Yeah, so you got this thing all ripped apart. What's it going to take to put it back together here, Dan?
Okay, so my reno is going to be about 600,000. I figure 150,000 a unit is pretty fair. You know, I've been doing this long enough now that that's a pretty good guesstimate for my area and the team that I have. The rents are going to be around. We'll keep it easy, even though we have two bedrooms and two one bedrooms, around $1,800 a piece. So that's about $7,200.
You might be able to get even more, right? Based on what some people have been telling you. So, but
If
maybe you'll get more for the two. Well, you'll definitely get more for the twos, a little bit less for the ones. So that's an average.
Yeah, and then you could short-term rental maybe, you know, 2,500, 3,000 maybe, 4,000, who knows. But anyway, so we got total rents for the year is $86,000. I mean, thinking $86,000 for 4 apartments, it seems completely crazy, but that's, you know, that's just what it is.
Welcome to 2022,
Yeah,
right?
welcome to 2022. So the increase in value on that for the NOI is 1.7 million, which is for 4 apartments just doesn't compute, but
And what
these
cap
are the
rate
numbers.
did you use for that?
I use a 5 cap.
5 cap, yeah.
So I mean, there's people out there. Actually, the downtown buildings now they're talking 4 cap. So,
Wow.
but I'm being, you know, somewhat conservative. I mean, 5 is.
Even if it went 5.5 or it gets
Yeah.
pushed up to 6 at some point, you're still making really good money.
Yeah,
And,
I'm making really good money here.
And renovation budget. So Dan is basically budgeting about $120 a square foot to renovate the stuff. He's already got the outside walls in place, so that's just to do really nice inside furnishings and heating systems and, you know, washer dryers, everything, right?
Yeah, everything's included in there. So
Yeah. So now Dan's got a few choices. What does he do on the refi, right? Does he actually pull out all of his money? That could be one option, right? And you were crunching some numbers. If you want a 75% loan to value, you could potentially get out $600,000-$700,000. Or you leave it into the property and you don't pull out all that money and cash flow like $4,000 a month, which you get taxed on. So you also want to make sure that you're insulated around higher interest rates, right? Because me and Dan have been around for a while. My first mortgage was around 5-6%. He's been around since they're probably 21% back in the 80s. No, just kidding, Dan. But you've seen higher interest rates, right? You've paid for private money before. So you also
I started at 8. In 2003 when I started, we started 8%. I actually couldn't get a bank loan. We had to go through an insurance company. They actually don't do that anymore, but back in 2003 when I started, I had to go through, actually, my first big deal, I had to get owner financing. And then the owner financing turned over into private money, which was, well, we called it private money back then, but it was institutional money, but second tier institutional money. And that was insurance money, and it was 8%, and I actually thought that was okay. I was still cash flowing, and then that turned into a secondary bank at 5%, and then obviously we financed with a major bank after that.
Yeah, so for all you people here that are crying just because interest rates went up by another 50 basis points the other day, it's, hey, get used to paying a little bit more, and you know that you got to make sure your fundamentals and your skills are really sharp when it comes to real estate investing. So very, very interesting project here, Dan. We're looking forward to documenting the process here and seeing it when it's more closed in. Dan does great work. He's got great rentals. Make sure that you can follow Dan here as well. How can people stay in touch with you or follow along in the project? You go live on Facebook once in a while.
Yeah, dandesveux.com. You can find me on all social media. Just punch in Dan Desveux and you can find me on all social media.
Yeah, Dan's got a ton of stories. He's done probably close to 100 different projects over the years. So again, one of my most interesting friends when it comes to real estate investing. So we want people like you to be able to see these kinds of projects and these opportunities and not be afraid of them. Maybe you got to team up with someone like Dan. You got to bring a contractor onto your team. This is not the kind of a project you'd want to do in your first year, that's for sure. Dan's got a lot of experience here, but eventually everybody can go up the chain when it comes to real estate and go for development projects. So that's it for today, friends. Again, keep investing in real estate, keep putting out offers. Until next time, be amazing. We'll see you on the next one.